NASCAR Pro season. 18 laps of racing is about to get underway. Vittorio Garelli on the inside of the front row. Tobias Downhauer will look for some momentum around the outside. Row 2 of the grid, Fabrizio Armetta and Sebastian Bleekemolen. Let's see who leads them. It's going to be Downhauer. It is Garelli being really swept up by the field. It's Downhauer that leads the way. He's followed by the 69 of Bleekemolen. Third place will be Garelli, but it's all kicked off in the back of shot. Siortsis involved in that. Dombrovski facing the wrong way. I'd say at least half a dozen cars caught up in an incident early on there for 11th place. Yes, it was. But look at this defensive driving from Lasser, and look at Dubek. He takes his opportunity to dive to the inside there of the 54. Thomas Tafel taking the opportunity as well. Gianmarco Ercoli there finding out the hard way that once the door is open, these drivers will kick it down. It's of course something he knows all too well.
I have to say, he's really doing a good job. He has Vittorio Garelli right at his back bumper, and right now, 0 mistakes. He's not really blocking, he's just staying on the ideal line, on his line, and he's not doing any mistake. He's really coping with the pressure right now, right?
Yeah, he really is. Tobias Downhauer, of course, the only driver to win, the only German driver to win a NASCAR sanctioned event. He would love to secure himself an early championship lead. 2.5 seconds, the gap between himself and Sebastian Bleekemolen in second place right now. Of course, Bleekemolen, a multiple-time champion in the world of Clio Cup racing. And if anything sets you up for a career of wheel-to-wheel action, it is Clio Cup racing.
And here we have Gianmarco Ercoli getting really right outside of the last turn. And this is maybe the opportunity for Paul Giuffre to take another position.
Martin Dubek entering the pit lane. Paul Giuffre on the inside of our reigning champion. It's both of our reigning champions side by side, and Paul Giuffre moves up to 7th position.
And that's the same for Garelli. A bad start. Now he's third. He's trying to pass Sebastian Bleekemolen, but at the moment he finds no way around the 69 car. And I have to say, you talked about Sebastian Bleekemolen's sporting successes in different series, but what I also want to point out, he's the team manager of the team, and they have a total of 5 cars here on track, 4 own cars, and they also take care of the 3-up racing car of Ryan Vargas. So they really prepare 5 cars during one race weekend. Those are really busy Dutch crew members up there. Yeah,
Downhauer is slow. The race leader seemingly has had a problem out there on the circuit. Now, is he going to head for the pit lane? We heard on the grid with you, Andre, that he had some oil leaks in the previous race. Is this or in the qualifying session, I should say. Is this a continuation of the issues that Dominic Schack found out about in quali? Doesn't matter really what the issue is. The net result is that Downhauer is heading into pit lane as we speak, and Vittorio Garelli takes the lead back. Vittorio Garelli, who started this race from pole position. Vittorio Garelli, meanwhile, absolutely dominant at the front of the order. He's had a sensational race in at the 24, returning to PK Car Sport many years later. A former champion in single-seaters, a former EuroNASCAR 2 champ as well, a driver that we have always pegged as a potential championship contender. We finally saw that come true in EuroNASCAR Pro last year. Was right up there in the title fight until the end of the season. Giuffre will be second in the championship at the conclusion of this first race, behind only our race winner Vittorio Garelli. There is the 24 PK Car Sport machine. Who will line up on pole position for this one in the 50 car. He's alongside Martin Dubek in the 7 on row 1. Thomas Tafel on row 2 in the 34 alongside Patrick Schauber on his debut race for RDV competition. 15 laps of racing in EuroNASCAR 2 about to begin for the first time. They will go through the grid slots as they roll away. And let's see who gets the best start of all. The pole sitter did not get the jump in EuroNASCAR Pro, but it seems as though Gil Linster has gotten away just fine. It's even Stevens between Linster and Dubek. Dubek on the outside line isn't going to make it easy for Linster, and sure enough, they're still side by side as they run through the first corner, and actually it's Dubek who's gotten through there. A little bit of contact between them even coming out of turn one. I'm very surprised that Dubek carried that much momentum, and I think Linster has damage or a tyre down because he did not get through turn two at all. And that little bit of contact may have been extremely costly. Well, after the talk of respect and confidence in one another in the interviews with my colleague and Dombrowski all right there. And once again, Capelli getting a little bit sideways there. And goodness me, Melvin de Groot's car losing all of its bodywork in one fell swoop there. Just, I think, tapped the rear of the number 5. And that is definitely going to make a difference. I know they're not cosmetic, but that front splitter is more than cosmetics. He's going to have understeer.
In EuroNASCAR 2, we have a lot of drama, and now we have Patrick Schober passing Claudio Capelli. Man, this is just crazy.
Well, that was hugely dramatic there in what was a 4-car scrap for third position. It's now shifted significantly, and Capelli has been passed by Patrick Schober, as he rightly said. Schober then up into third position. The question is, will Claudio Remigio Capelli fight back? He's been struggling through turn 12 in particular so far in this race. He's right there on the back of Thomas de Velde. We've seen these two scrap a couple of times previously in the 2023 NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. Thomas de Velde, big lock up there on the front right. Of course, so difficult to get the car turned in if you've got the axle stopping underneath you like that. Under rotating tyre, you managed to get it turned into turn 11 fairly well. RDV competition then with Patrick Schober, their new young gun, at the wheel for the first time. Thomas Tuffel then, he's under a lot of pressure from Patrick Schober at the moment as they turn through the first corner, and Tuffel going very wide into turn 1. Turn 2, the inside beckons for Patrick Schober. Tuffel loses the rear axle a little bit there. He had to catch a slide in the braking zone, and that was enough to push him wide and push Patrick Schober through into second place. Schober gets through then, and he will now have his sights firmly set on his fellow Mustang-bodied car. But Martin Dubek will be delighted to see that checkered flag. He crosses the line to win the race for Hendricks Motorsport. Patrick Schober takes second position. Thomas de Velde crosses the line in third place, but with a 5-second penalty to be applied to his time, Claudio Remigio Capelli will inherit third place. De Velde will take fourth position then. Dombrowski 5th,